All right, everybody, we are here with the one and only Rowdy Harris. This is our first interview, many to come, and feel privileged to speak to him today. So, Rowdy, how's it going, man?
Well, outstanding. How's it going with you?
It's going good, man. It's going good. I mean, it's been good, getting to know you and kind of your journey and just, learning from you as well and just kind of learning from each other, piggybacking. And, you know, this is something I've been wanting to for a while. And I'm gonna I'm gonna get better at editing and all that stuff, and it'll be looking nicer, the more I get going with these videos. But no, I think it's important for people out there to, just get knowledge from people like you. And, you've been in the business for a while. And I was just gonna kind of ask ask, if you could just tell, about your background and like how you got started, in the industry.
Uh, in 2000, I went to college, graduated college in 2012. In 2015, I had a surgery. I had a stroke and it was a brain tumor extraction, and I had a brain tumor taken out of my head. It was called it wasn't a brain tumor. It was called a pituitary adenoma, a pituitary tumor, and it was pushing against my brain, causing me to have migraines and all. So they took that out of my head. The doctor was a brand new doctor who hadn't done much of it, apparently, and she messed me up bad. Like I have a little bit of brain damage. I have memory loss,
Jeez.
all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it messed me up pretty bad. So when I got out, I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I slept like 22 hours a day. It was insane. And then from there, I slowly started to regain my ability to get around, but I couldn't read and I couldn't write because my vision loss and the way my mind works now, it just didn't work. Like I can read like little snippets, but anything large like a book, it would take me forever. So so I went to work at Dollar General, and while I was working at Dollar General, I'm like chewing myself out. I'm like, you're better than this, man. You can do more. I don't know why you're stuck here. This is stupid. Like I don't know. It was crazy. So I was like, what can I do? So I watched an interview with Mike Rowe where he said, if you're willing to sweat and you're willing to get dirty, you can make a lot of money. I'm like, I do both those things for fun. So it's free. Maybe I'm sitting on a gold mine. And so I started looking for ways to make money. And I found a guy named Keith Kelfis on, yeah, I know you know Keith.
Oh, I know who that guy
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, but he had a video talking about his new window cleaning business. And I was like, I imagined somebody with paper towels and a bottle of Windex going door to door asking people if he can clean their windows,
That's what
kind of
I
like that.
thought.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
yeah, sorry
yeah.
to interrupt you, but I'd even know the window cleaner was really a thing. I thought it was more like just,
Yeah, yeah, I
but yeah,
know.
I feel you.
But anyway, I started to I started to look around on YouTube for videos. I found Luke the window cleaner. You probably know who he is too.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah,
And he stopped him and his wife, and he stopped making videos years ago. But
yeah,
when I got in, I started with window clean, and man, him and his wife were the first people that I kind of learned from and how to do quoting things like that.
right.
And yeah, I totally.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's exactly. Well, I went through every single one of his videos, and I remember I went down to Lowe's and I got a couple of squeegees and such.
What I did.
Yeah, was
I
it?
did the same,
Like,
dude.
man,
I
we're
we
like
got
this.
Yeah, I know.
But I went down and I practiced on the front windows of a laundromat in Seneca, Missouri, south of Joplin here. About where it's where I lived at the time,
Oh,
and it
okay.
was right next door to the Dollar General I worked at. I would get off work and I'd walk over to the Dollar General. I'd walk over to the laundromat, and I would clean for like 6 hours or something. I mean, it was insane. I would just get lost in it, and then I would check my time, and it was like 4 in the morning, and I'd be like, what the how do I stay here that long? I don't know. And so then I started walking on October 10th, 2018 is when I started walking, making the rounds. It took me about maybe 5 to 6 weeks before I got all the equipment September 1st, and then I started walking October 10th, and just businesses. I just went into every business in Seneca, asking if they want their windows cleaned. And, it's a small town, bunch
Oh.
of crud kickers, and so they're looking at me. They're like, "You want to clean my windows? Like, do you have Windex or something? Do you have paper towels?" I'm like, "No, no, I don't." So
So,
then I went to Neosho. The next town over is 5,000 people, and I started walking it, and I got down to the end of this strip, and nobody was paying me the time of day. And this lady asked me how much I would charge to clean her front window, because I was like, I'm a professional window cleaner, all this. And I went and looked at it, and I didn't know what I was doing. I told her $10. She goes, okay. So so I went back, and it took me about 45 minutes to clean this one freaking window. It was so painful. But I got done. She gave me a $10 bill, and I'm like, that's $12.50. I'm making like $8 an hour right now at Dollar General. So I'm making a time and a half of that, per hour. Like, I'm like, if I really scale this, I can make good money. I'm gonna get faster. I can make so much more. So I started scaling it, and I started learning what I was doing. And I would say within 2 or 3 weeks, I was making $1,500 a month, just off local small business, mom and pop businesses. And I was like, my goodness, this is really good. Then then
what kind of dog you got?
yeah, but then I started gutter cleaning in that April 15th is when I went with a home advisor, and I was thinking about how to do it. How can I do this? How can I do this? And they called me, and they were trying to hook me up, sign me up, and all. And I pestered them. They hated my guts, and they were really rude. They're a horrible company, by the way. If
Oh.
anybody's interested in getting with them, they're
Home
good to get
advisor,
service.
Angie's Leads, man. I I know them too. I tried them too in the beginning, and I didn't last more than a month with it because I'm like, man, it. And the thing is, I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like the same lead they give to several guys, and then it's like whoever calls them first, because I would get some like potential jobs, and I would call them, and they've already hired someone. So I'm like, how's that possible? I literally just got the lead, and then you already hired
Yeah.
somebody.
I did that one time, and I called in, and they said, "Oh, that's Powell and Sons. You don't have to worry about them. That's Powell and Sons." And I was like, "What's Powell and Sons?" They said, "Well, they're a company we bought, and we get their leads and we pass them out to people." I was like, "Well, how do I know that my other leads I haven't gotten isn't from Powell and Sons?" They go, "Oh, well, if you get any, just let us know." And I was like, "Well, can't you guys go in and just audit it to make sure?" They go, "No, we can't do that. But if you have questions about anything, you can let us know." So I'm like, "Okay." So I read my last my last job. They said no. I read my job for that. They said that's not Powell and Sons. I read the job before that. Finally, the lady stops me, and she goes, "Are you just going through your list?" I was like, "Yeah, you just you just told me if I had questions." And she goes, we're not doing that, Rowdy. We're not doing that. And I'm like, what do you just told me? Like, if I have questions about it, which I have questions about all of these, and
Hmm.
I had like 1,200 of them in my account at the time. But she was really, she was. and
Oh,
and I kept her on the line for like 2 hours, man. It was crazy how long I kept her on the line. And she wound up saying, "Rowdy, I'm sorry. If you don't like it, you can quit our service. All right. I'm gonna hang up now." And she wound up hanging up on me. Yeah, she was. And the guy who signed me up, he's like, I'm gonna make you so sick of me. I'm gonna be in your business. I'm gonna be calling you and everything. I signed up with him. I never heard from him again for like 2 weeks. And then I had a question, so I called him up, and he goes, "Hello? Who are you?" And I'm
hmm.
like, "I'm Rowdy, the guy that you're going to sign up and pester and everything." He goes, "Oh, uh, what do you want?" I'm like, yeah, I just had a question about such and such." And he goes, "Rowdy, look, I know you're not stupid, okay? I know you're not stupid, but we have a customer service area you can call for this." And I got up his tail end, man. That really ticked me off. I mean, that really ticked me off. But yeah,
That
yeah. Home advisor. I was with them for 4 years.
thumbtack, dude. Same.
Do what?
Hate
Yeah,
thumbtack.
yeah,
I and the funny thing is, the sales people, they promise you the world. Oh,
yeah.
there's a million people in your neighborhood that need your services. Your business is gonna scale from here to here. And
Yeah.
when I first started, and we originally started as a house cleaning business, which we don't do house cleaning anymore, but that's how like Cleaning Bee Pro came to be. It was a house cleaning service, and that my wife was doing cleaning and I was doing all the leads and stuff. But anyway, and we used Bark, which is mostly for house cleaning leads. So all of those platforms, Bark, Angie's, they're I throw them all in the same circle. It's all the same crap. Like they don't work. Like maybe once in a blue moon you'll get something, but you're way better off, doing marketing the right way, building your GMB, things like that. But
I
yeah,
think if somebody went to that market just to just like with the idea instead of trying to like squeeze you out for money, if they would just try to really service you the best they
yeah.
could as a provider, man, it's insane what they would get
Oh,
out of it. I
and
mean, they would get such loyalty.
I mean, and there's all these, marketing agencies now, that are Facebook lead gen or SEO. I mean,
Yeah.
that kind of like was gonna segue into my next thing. Like, what has made you kind of scale? Like, do you feel like with marketing, what has been your best tactics from paid ads, from organic to yard signs? Like,
We've done everything that I can think of. Like we've done every door direct mail. We've walked and talked. We've knocked on doors. We've done door hangers. We've done yard signs. We've wrapped our pickups. We've done home advisor. We've done thumbtacks. We've done mass email. We've done bulk text. We haven't done voicemail bombs. We've done Facebook. We've done Google ads. We've done Google Guarantee. We have a great Google My Business. Our Google My Business is
oh, I saw
160.
it. It's
Yeah,
really
like
good. I
yeah,
looked it up.
165 star reviews. We have like two. We had 500 photos. I don't know what happened to the photos, and people are leaving us reviews, and we're just not getting them. But I mean, we've done so much stuff. It is insane how much we've done, and it's really insane how much money we poured into it, and it's crazy because I decided in early 2022 that we were going to try to pour money into marketing,
Mhm.
which was I don't think it was a bad idea, but it was a bad idea for the time because the economy was going to start changing. And I mean, I don't know where anybody stands politically or anything, but I Joe Biden in office is just
Hmm.
I think he's killing everything, right?
Yeah,
And
well,
and uh
yeah, I mean, I think, and not just exterior cleaning, right? I'm talking most businesses right now are just, it's difficult for everybody, most businesses, it doesn't matter what niche you're in, right? It's because of the economy right now, it's so like this, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's really crazy because whenever I first started, I mean, even from Home Advisor, we got calls, we went and did jobs. It wasn't hard at all to get jobs, and I'm glad that we built up that base to
yeah.
where now we email our customers once a month. We usually get about $1,500 worth of work out of it. I'd say $1,000 to $2,000 of work.
See,
Uh,
that's interesting because initially and I use Marquee, which I love. Great CRM, you know. But I was doing once a month when I first got this CRM, and then I was literally having clients texting me saying, "Please stop." Like, and so now I only do it every 3 months, and it's not like salesy things at all. It'll be like tips and tricks how to maintain your property, or like, hey, it's summer, like I'm always trying to give value, not be too pushy and salesy. Or, like when fall comes, right? It's gutter season, right? So, we'll do a gutter text. But like what worked better for me is the ringless voicemails. That actually was the best ROI I got when I'm doing those, because Marquet has a couple options. It's like ringless voicemails where it automatically gives them a voicemail. You could do text blast, you could do email blast, or you could do like postcards where it automatically shoot them a postcard. But the ringless voicemails have been the best ROA for me. I guess, yeah, I don't know why, but
Hmm.
yeah,
I really want to try to get them, but we've got a lot of people who just don't want to be contacted.
yeah.
And I mean, if somebody, I'm not sure if somebody opts out, how do we opt them out of ringless voicemail? Because we're using two different systems. So
Mhm.
I'm not sure how we would do that yet,
Oh,
but
that's yeah.
it's where I want to go with it. But you said that you would like message them saying some informative piece or something, education. When I send out the inquiry, which I was told the other day is very bland and I get nothing, I should get about 5% return on it and
I yeah,
all this
I
stuff.
hardly ever get any return from it, really, honestly. So
Well, whenever I go do a job, I tell the customer that we're going to send out a text
mhm,
or contact them every month just touch them on the shoulder, just saying, hey, you want service, let us know. And if they're not interested, don't worry about it. Just overlook the contact. But if
mhm,
they want something, let us know. And then we send out a text every month that's something like uh I always start an email with the name of the service. So if I'm not talking about if I'm talking to somebody about gutter cleaning, I text them. I'll say gutter cleaning. You
mhm.
know, and then I'll go into the message that because I mean nobody knows who we are, nobody knows our number or
Yeah,
anything. So I'll start off Harris Brother pressure washing gutter clean period. Um, just our monthly text. Do you need service? Question mark. Send. That's all it is. I like it. I like it very, very basic. I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to blow smoke up the rear.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I've always been too, like, I've always tried to keep things simple. People are busy. People, I try to, and like that, and actually, like, before this video, how you sent me like that text that you send out to your client, like for quotes, that's really nice, like that's because a lot most of what we do, it'll be either just through the CRM, but then it's like if they don't approve it, it's like, okay, what's going on? So I do like that fact with the text because it's I don't know, it seems better than, so salesy, I guess you could say, because in a
Yeah.
CRM, maybe they feel like they're getting pushed towards something. And like an informal text, I feel like it's not so pushy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a mental, but I think that's a great idea. Would you and some people would be like, well, a text isn't professional. Like, and I know you have a CRM, but do you feel like do you always send out that kind of text, with the nice verbiage with all the additional services?
Yeah.
Or,
Like if go ahead. Go. I'm
oh, I
sorry.
was going to say, or do you send them just through your CRM and then it's just more
No,
formal, I
the
guess?
way it works, and I'll tell you everything. We're actually going to start doing. Donovan Questerberry says that he's jumped his jobs up, his average ticket price from about $200 to about 12 to $1,500. And he says he does that by doing an on-site estimate. He kind of gives a run through. He did he had a video on the gutter cleaning contractors. He
Mm-hmm.
had to watch it. It was really good. He made a post and then he went back and did a video the other day. It was maybe last Wednesday, and it was really freaking great. I mean, it was really outstanding. And I don't think people hear stuff and they just let it go. They don't try to work it in at all. And somebody like Donovan, he's such a I mean, I don't know how much he thinks about it or anything, but he really seems like an act now, ask questions later type of guy, which I think is great because I'm like an ask every question in the world now and act later kind of guy, and
Yeah.
I try to push myself to be the other way because that's the people that get results. So anyway, I'm gonna start doing it to where when somebody calls in, I answer Harris Brothers and
Mm-hmm.
they say, yeah, I'm interested in such service. I say, okay, do you get text on this phone? They say, yes. I say, okay, let me text you. You can get some information to us. Then we can go on, look at your house and we can send an estimate. But I'm gonna start saying, okay, do you want an in-person estimate or do you want us just to send you the estimate off what we see? And if they don't want if they don't want to invite us to their house to show their house, get an in-depth estimate, then they're not the type of customer that's gonna
Yeah.
pay for nearly as much. So there's that. I think that's a really good way to do it. And
Uh,
then but if they say they just want it you know
over the
via text, then we send some, ask for their name, number, address, and email, so we can plug that in to the CRM if they decide to go with us. We take their address and we get online. We look at Google Maps and we look at we look at Realtor and Zillow.com. We find the square footage. We do everything off of square footage, everything, unless they're gutter guard jobs. If they're gutter guard jobs, we tell them that we can give them an estimate, but we have to come out to give an estimate. And there's so many caveats and such that that we have to charge for it if they don't. We actually say, if we come out, give you an estimate, and you take the estimate, you pay just the estimated price. You don't pay a thing other than the estimated price. But if you reject it, well, then we ask for we ask for a little payment to compensate for time and risk and gas and all that sort of stuff. And we just need to see your house to how steep the roof is and all, and see how far it is, so we can understand. So then I'll get it and I'll look and I'll send them a price if they reject the estimate. And this honestly, that does away with about 80% of the estimates that we give on gutter guards, because that's just a time suck.
let me,
And
I
huh?
know. I
Yeah, it is. And
I
I'll
trust
tell you,
me.
man,
We
since I've been doing this,
yeah.
it's like night and day. If somebody calls us out to do an estimate, it's like, even if we're charging just $50 to do the estimate, if they say no, they don't want to lose that $50 so much that they'll pay another $400 on top of what we would have charged for gutter cleaning. And it's
And
crazy. But yeah,
and what's
they're just
crazy though
motivated.
too is like this just happened like a week ago actually. Is we always ask, because we do a lot of gutter jobs. And we always ask, two questions. Do you have gutter guards? Yes or no? And when was the last time the gutters were clean? Which, that question, I don't even know if I need to ask anymore, because most people are always like, oh, they were clean 6 months ago, right? Because they know if you say, oh, it's been 5 years,
Yeah.
you're gonna charge more. And then you get to the property, dude, you got trees and plants. I'm like, okay, this is not 6 months worth. And then, so I mean, I don't even know if I need to ask that question really, but like sometimes we'll get there and they do have gutter guards, they just don't understand, or they don't even know what gutter guards are. So like for us, if they're the cheap gutter guards you could buy from like Lowe's or Home Depot, where you could pretty much just like pop them open, yeah, we'll scoop them, and then we'll put them back. That I won't charge extra. But if they're like bolted in, that's gonna be easily double, triple the price, just because now we got to do more work. So I hate messing with gutter guards. And I'll be honest with you, there's been some jobs like they had so many, it was so dang hard just to get them off. We didn't even do the job. And, the client didn't want to even, I'm like, yeah, we could do this, but it's going to be, times two. So it went from like a $300 to $600 job. And then they didn't even
Yeah.
want to do that. So we just walked away. But yeah, gutter guards, I'm not a fan of. Like, I don't believe in them. I mean, I've messed with every gutter guard you could think of, from leaf filter, from the Lowe's, Home Depot. And I always get gutter companies always hitting me up trying to be a contractor for them to like install their guards. And I know there's guys out there that do it because it's a higher ticket item, but it's hard because I don't really believe in it. And even with these like leaf filter, I think is the most expensive guard you can buy, and it's ridiculous. Like a small one-story house, it could easily be a couple $1,000s for a one-story, right? Front, back. And then guess what? In 6 months, that homeowner is going to call me, hey, I need you. So it's like, if you just hire us, if you get a maintenance plan 2-3 times a year, you're good to go. And that's going to be way cheaper, especially if you have big home, paying 5 grand for guards, and then hiring me minimum twice a year. So I always try to save the homeowner money. Of course, like yeah, it'd be so easy, like, oh, get guards, and then you're still gonna need to hire me. But I've just never been a fan, and it's hard for me to sell it when I don't believe in it.
One time we had somebody call us up and she wants to come install gutter guards for her. We're like, we don't usually do that because they don't work. She goes, "Oh, I know. I just want them." I'm like, "All right, well, let us bring you some samples of everything." And she says, "Oh no, I've already got them." I was like, "All right, yeah, you got them, we'll install them." So we went to see her and she had a bunch of plastic gutter guards. And I'm like, "Stay away from plastic gutter
Yeah.
guards or crap." She goes, "Oh yeah, we'll replace them in a few years. It's all right. Just go ahead and do it." And I was like, "All right, I guess." So I installed them for her, and then we had another lady last year who she wanted some gutter guards on her house, but it was very the like it's when somebody asks me about gutter guards, I hate it because I know I sound like a salesman, like, "Oh no, you don't need that. You need to just keep hiring us." But
And that's my pitch every
yeah,
time. I'm always like, um, you really, I honestly talk them out of it, and then
yeah,
and if I'm like, okay, I'll even show them. Sure, if I do the guards, it's going to be this price, and it's going to be a stupid amount of money. Or you hired me minimum 2 to 3 times a year, and here's what you're going to pay. And it's so much cheaper, and I just think there's so many companies out there, especially gutter companies out there, that just that they prey on homeowners who don't know anything, because it is bigger ticket. And like, yeah, part of me sometimes like, man, I wish I believed in it, because they are good money. I could not do that to the homeowner, because at the end of the day, I'm all about helping the homeowner out. And like, if I could save them money when I know in 6 months they're going to be calling me anyways, why even make them have that hassle?
yeah. It's really, I mean, it's really crazy. But contractors are horrible.
Oh,
Contractors
they
just,
are. They
it's like
don't
you can't
care.
get them to answer the phone. If you can get them to answer the phone, you can't get them to give an estimate. If you can give them to give an estimate, they usually have to come out. If they have to come out, they never show up on time. If they do
Yeah.
show up on time and they leave, they don't actually send you the estimate. And if they do send you the estimate, you can't get them out there. If you can get them out there to do it, they do a horrible job and you can't get them back on the phone. It's insane, man. I mean,
Oh,
it's just insane.
and that
But
and
go
yeah,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, and I always ask clients like why they hired us, because I think it's important to know why us over the other people. And 99% of the time, it's not the price, it's not my great personality. It's honestly because I answer the phone. Like, I can't tell you how many times they've like called 5, 10 other companies, and they might get an automatic email, and then they'll respond like 2 days later, or they'll get like a default text message, hey, thanks for contact, whatever, and then they just never hit them up. So literally just answering the phone, you're already
Yeah.
99% better than all the other companies.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you do that and you have reviews, I've had people who call me up and we're like, "Look, this is going to be really expensive. You might want to call around to get more estimates because it's I mean, we try to be deathly honest with our customers, excessively, just sickeningly honest, and I mean we tell them everything, and we tell them, we say, I don't know what other people charge, but this is going to be at the higher range of what we would charge. You might want to call someone else, and they go. Since I've hit about maybe 100 reviews, they go, "No, we've seen your reviews. You're who we want to get. When can you be here?" And I'm like, balling, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
no,
pretty freaking nice.
and that's definitely true. And I mean, you got more reviews than me, but you've been in the game longer. But I mean, we're at, okay, 125, and it definitely helps a lot. It shows, that you are good at what you do. And but yeah, I was going to ask you, like, what are some do's and don'ts you think about like the business, like, because I know you do you do gutter cleaning, power washing, little bit of window clean here and there. But like, what things do you feel like you can't do, and what things can you do? And it could be anything from talking to the customer to liability issues.
Uh, I don't know. I mean, you hear all sorts of things from all sorts of people, and I had a friend one time who told me about hardy board. He says, "Man, do not wash hardy board." I didn't wash any hardy board yet. He goes,
Oh
"Do
yeah,
not wash hardy board. Stay away from it. Just it's horrible. It's
yeah.
awful. It's just bad." And I go, "Oh, okay." So I was on Facebook one time, and I said, "Yeah, I know you're not supposed to wash hardy board, but then went in my post, and everybody got on there like, 'What's wrong with hardy board?' And I'm like,
Yeah.
'It's just hard to clean.' They go, 'No, it's not.' And I was like, 'Yeah, it is.' They go, 'Well, how many hardy board houses you clean?' I'm like, 'A lot.'"
Yeah.
Complete. I got caught kind of in a lie there, and I'm like, all right, I guess that was wrong. And it's something that I have a really hard time with is cleaning wood. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
fences. We washed a fence last June, and the fence was we sprayed everything and got our side looking beautiful. I mean, it was just gorgeous, man. And we left, and like 2 days later, we got a call from a lady saying, "Yeah, you washed my neighbor's fence, but you wrecked my side as well." And I'm like, "We didn't spray your side." So we went to her house, and we walked in the back and looked, and where the slats come together, right in the
Mm,
crease, I guess it got through there and had bleached out up and down
yeah.
the strips, which and then in the knot holes too. So I think what happened was, because I've seen it before, I think we were using too much bleach, and because I've seen other people, they wet it down, too much SH. Other people wet it down and they go back with the pressure washer to try to
Mm,
spray it off. And
yeah.
I think that if I spray it with a lighter mix, you know, just in one spot, and then just try to rinse it off, that I'll be able to clean it. Never mind, never mind. I think I'll be able to do it, which I hope, because I have a fence wash that I had to do yesterday, but I hurt my ankle, so I'm gonna do it on Monday. So
Oh,
wish me luck, man.
yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
We don't even honestly deal with that much. We're like, but hardy board, I heard the same thing, and we and especially like dark hardy board. People like, don't mess with dark hardy board. And the first house wash we ever did was a blue hardy board, and I just rinsed it off quick, because if you leave, the only thing with hardy board, like compared to like vinyl, you could leave it dwell for a while, and
yeah,
but with hardy board, you just can't let it sit. Or that's when, so the dwell time, instead of usually like we'll let something dwell 5, 10 minutes, whatever, depending how bad it is. But a hardy board was like a minute, and then boom, spray it off. But like wood shutters, that was my one of the first jobs. There was all these wood shutters, and like I didn't know, when I was learning, I didn't know about like, oh, some things dwell time quick, some don't. And man, the wood got like discolored a bit because I let it dwell. And with I didn't know, with wood, if you get bleach on it, should not stay on there long. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so, and I learned my lesson about that, but you know,
That's a good thing, man.
yeah,
That's a good thing. I'll tell you one thing I think is, I think everybody goes with tape, and they tape off everything.
yeah,
I've like, when I first started, I was just going around, and I wasn't taping off anything or
mhm,
anything. And after like a year, people were like, "Yeah, you're supposed to tape off." And I heard that on a video. I'm like, "Why?" Like all the electrical outlets are outside, all the, it's
mhm,
like I don't spray directly into a doorknob or anything.
yeah,
So it's kind of, I still don't get it, because it's like I don't sit and spray an electrical outlet. Like if I saw one that was hanging off the wall,
yeah,
I wanted to spray it. But like the electrical boxes, I typically make a quick pass just with a mist,
yeah,
and I've never had a problem. One time I did spray a keypad on a garage to get into
mhm,
the garage, and the guy left it open, and I sprayed it, and I completely just it missed. And he called me up and told me it wasn't working. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, I'll be there as soon as I finish this job. And he called me back and said it started working again. So I don't know,
Yeah,
but
like I think I've taped everything. Maybe, and I don't even know why. I think I do because I've heard some horror stories. So we just tape everything. But I mean, like one of my buddies, Travis King, he's out of Pittsburgh, but he just like one of his guys freaking caught one of the electrical boxes on fire,
yeah,
and I mean, I could only imagine how that was. But yeah, I mean, I guess I've just done it now out of habit, you
yeah.
know. But
Something else is whenever I'm dealing with a customer, like we've like I've been on a deck before. I tell all my customers, I'm like, move anything that you don't want broken, don't want
yes,
dirty, don't want stained, anything like that away from the house. I say that our insurance won't let us. So for insurance reasons, we can't touch anything.
yep,
So and if it's left there, we're gonna think that not much consideration is put towards it. Sometimes we get to houses and there's like they never touch anything. But anyway, we if I break something, I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll go get the customer and I'll bring that and I will show them what I broke or the issue or anything. Or if we're going around the house and we say we're spraying high up on a peak and we can't get a spot clean and I
yeah,
don't know why, well then when I get done, I walk the customer around and I show them. I say this will not come clean. This is not organic growth. That's
mhm,
stained. There's something wrong with it. And people, I've never ever had any problem with anybody throwing a fit on me for
yeah.
anything. And I think that may just be because it's smaller town
And
Missouri, you know.
honesty. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
and you're not trying to burn them. People cannot stand to be burned. You know, we tell
yeah,
people that to err is human. We're gonna make mistakes once in a while because everybody makes mistakes once in a while. You cannot the only person that doesn't make a mistake is Jesus, right? I mean, if you're not Jesus,
yeah,
you're making a mistake. And and I say, but to not come back and right the wrong is just it's a sorry characteristic to have, and we try not to be sorry individuals. So it's you know
yeah.
we get calls back from it. We don't get calls back very much. We also offer a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. So if we clean gutters and
Mhm.
in 3 weeks, you know, their gutters are clogged again, then calls up, we'll go back out and we'll clean it again. Uh, but that's just, you know, that's just before I was thinking about it one day and I'm like, if somebody called me up after a few days or a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks and they wanted me to come out to see an issue with the job I had done, I would just out of the goodness of my heart, just courtesy to him, I would just go see what the deal is. And so I just started telling people I was going to do it. I just 30-day satisfaction guarantee. And it's I mean, I get called out once, maybe like twice a year. It's not much. I mean, it's really not much. So yeah, I
Okay.
mean that's something else I would really tell people to do. I mean it's just it's really incredible how that helps. But also people need to work on their Google My Business because I
Yeah.
mean
Oh,
like
and
the in Joplin there's a company called Jomo Pressure Washing. They're the biggest pressure washer in the area. I just came back to Joplin and I have like 163 reviews on Google and 170 reviews on Google Guaranteed.
oh shoot.
And there, what?
Oh, sorry. The the interview's about to end
No.
but I was just gonna say, no, I'm gonna link all your description, in the bio, out of Joplin, Missouri. And last word, what would you say to just describe your journey? Like one word to just describe how it's been.
It's you have to decide that you're gonna do it. I've decided that I'm not gonna fail on this. I might fail the first time, might fail the second or third time, but in the long run,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna fail. I might move on to something else, but I'm not gonna quit this. I might use this as the only difference in a stepping stone and a stepping block is just a frame of mind, right?
I
I mean, so
gotcha.
I've decided this is my industry. This is where I'm gonna be. In 20 years, I'm gonna be right here. And I guarantee